How's everybody doing? I'm going to do my first, this is my first review, first look ever at a Hamilton Khaki King, except for anything in pictures. I'm kind of a Hamilton obsessive. I know there's Seiko obsessives. Hamilton is my brand that means the most to me. It's not a luxury brand, but Rob recently did a video on this watch. This is my 42 millimeter Hamilton Khaki Field. Reason being, as far as my obsession with Hamilton watches, is my grandfather wore one in World War II. My great grandfather had one as a pocket watch. So it's just like a family brand, if that makes any sense to people. But the Hamiltons they're what I prefer, and they're not made in Pennsylvania anymore, and it is what it is, but I prefer Hamiltons. But anyway, size comparison, this is a 42, and I think these are like 39 and a half. I think they're just shy of 40. It looks like a big difference to me, and even on the wrist, this is my go-to everyday watch. I prefer this on the wrist. So I'm definitely going to be picking one of these up. I don't know when. I was thinking originally champagne dial, but I think I'm going to go ahead and go with the black. This, I can do more with black. Now this is a 22 millimeter lug width. This is a 20. So if I wanted to do straps like I usually do, I'd have to order some different straps. But between the two, I really prefer the Khaki King to my 42 Khaki Field. With that said, the only downside for me of this watch is I wish the crown was a little bit bigger as far as for manipulation, but the crown being small and with these nice smooth crown guards, it also doesn't dig. My 42, this digs a little bit once in a while, that crown. I like it because it's big and I can grab it. It's easy to, wind, whatever. But it does dig in my wrist once in a while. This, on the other hand, doesn't. It's just this nice, smooth taper. And I just like the way it is. I wish this would, there we go. Or I guess it's not going to focus. Anyway, I know some people don't like how the day cuts out the 12 and hacks on the 11 and the 1. Personally, I don't care. I like the way this watch looks. I wasn't sure if I would like it. That's why I said I've always been on the fence about getting one of these. But after seeing it in person, getting it in my hand, I really like it. It adds something different to the watch compared to your usual design. Now, the thing I do like, and I think a lot of us like this, is where this just falls right off. It just right off at right where the pin secures your end link. I think it makes it wear better on the wrist than when lugs are jetted out like on this Borealis. For me, on this Borealis, it doesn't matter. My wrist is wide enough that it sits just fine. But I do prefer when the bracelet just kind of, when it just jets down right there at the lugs. The thing with Hamiltons, like the syringe hands I like how your second hand goes all the way out to the edge of the dial. But realistically, the Lume on Hamiltons suck. I mean, there's no way around it. That's the downside of every single Hamilton I've ever handled or owned. The Lume is just kind of crap. And like I was talking to Rob today, I wish all Lume was Seiko Lume or this Borealis. This thing's insane. But I wish everybody had that kind of lume. Even on a field watch, I still want to be able to see it. I want to see every watch like a dive watch as far as the lume in the dark. That's just it. You're spoiled with Seiko's lume, and then when you look at watches that cost more, even if they're Swiss-made watches that cost more, it's everything else is kind of disappointing to me as far as what you get for the money when it comes to the lume. But so I guess the lume and the little crown, those are my only gripes. But like I said, the lume's a gripe with every Hamilton I've ever had. The watch itself, it's really nice and thin. I wear business casual 90% of the time with my job. So I like a watch that'll fit under a shirt cuff and I guess is small. As small as this watch is, and I don't consider it small. I mean, to me, it's almost like the perfect size, but small by a lot of today's standards of 42s, 44s. As small as the watch is, it doesn't look small as far as when it's on the wrist. I don't think it looks like a small watch, but I do like how it's unobtrusive as far as I don't like my watches to draw attention. And I know that makes no sense probably as a watch guy, but I don't like my watches to draw attention. I like understated things. That's why if I ever bought a Rolex, it would be a date just, non-fluted bezel, and I'd probably have the Cyclops popped off if I could. Just because I don't want people to look at it and go, "Ooh, look, Rolex." It's just not. I wear watches for me. I don't wear them for other people. And with my job, doing sales and whatever, I don't want to flash a Rolex, honestly, or even an Omega. Something like that would be more of a weekend watch for me. Like this, a Hamilton, it's especially like this little Khaki King or my Khaki Field. They don't draw attention from people, and I like that. But I like that they're easy to read and relatively affordable. Honestly, I don't know what one of these goes for. I think they go for around $350. It does have an exhibition case back. I like the simple pushers. I like a simple pusher. This one looks to have the new H10 movement, not the regular 2824-2, or it wouldn't even be that. I don't remember what the designation is, honestly, for the day date. But it's got nice solid end links, and they mat up nice to the case. And the bracelet itself is nice and thin, and I usually like thicker bracelets. And just from eyeballing this, I'm going to say it tapers from a 20 to probably an 18. But it's comfortable. It's comfortable on wrist, and it wears nicely. So if you're thinking about picking one of these up, I would recommend it, even if you have, like I said, I don't know how big my wrist is. I guess it's between 7.25 and 7.5. And this for an everyday watch, if you're worried about water resistance, look into one of these. This is 100 meters. This is 50. How much of a difference that makes, I don't know. If I fell in the lake with this one on, I wouldn't worry. If I fell in the lake with this one on, maybe I would. Usually if I'm at the lake, I'm wearing a dive watch anyway. So anyway, if this is a watch that you've been considering, but say your wrists are a little bit bigger and you're kind of leery on the size, I wouldn't be. I'd pick one of these up without hesitation. It's another great affordable Swiss-made watch from Hamilton. So anyway, thanks for watching.